Hey, this is Richard Kraft from Carriage Glen. I'm shooting this video for our HOA about these floodplains and the drainage areas around our neighborhood because there seems to be a little bit of concern, and we just want to share these with the board and the city of Grapevine and see if we can get some more information. I'm standing along Pool Road and the drainage flume that extends from underneath Pool Road down to the creek. This was installed several years ago. And you can see that it's kind of a nasty mess. It's been this way for quite some time. It especially got worse in the big flood we had in September. And we understand that's a rare occurrence, but still, we've got some remaining issues here. I'm going to try to document a few of these so we can discuss these. Also, you look up here, this is the bridge, part of the trail. You can see that it's still just got tons of junk up underneath it too, garbage. But closer look at this drainage flume. See, it's just totally silted in. And this is kind of a cool part up here. This is not just a recent water occurrence. This has been sitting here so long. There are actually fish. I saw one about 4 inches long here in the end of the drainage flume. You see it's already starting to get scum on it. And I can't tell for sure, but I know that this end of the flume is completely silted up. Garbage and stuff everywhere. But it looks like, but I can't tell because of all the junk that's clogging that end of the flume, it looks like the flume might have failed. I know there's a couple drainage pipes in there, but anyway, this is kind of in our backyards. Not really what we want. And again, the garbage and junk everywhere. You go to the other side of the flume, you can see that it is draining out of the big pipe. And the little pipe still works anymore, but it is draining somewhat, but obviously not enough to keep up. And across from the flume, you see that the woods out here are just completely covered with some of the debris that washed down when the water level was up over the bridge. And there's a lot of garbage and junk in there, and some of us are concerned about rodents, snakes, and things as people use these trails. We're hoping this can get cleaned up because, again, this is kind of our backyard. Now, many of us remember when this flume was built, this area was excavated and brought down significantly, but now we can see, I don't know if I can get this in the camera, but it seems that the flood basin has raised itself by easily 3 to 4 feet, and in the middle even higher in some places. So what we're concerned about is what's happened is the level of this flood basin has been pushed up significantly so that its water retention capabilities significantly less than it was designed, and is raising the potential for flood up into our properties. This is the flume that runs on the west side of 12 Oaks Lane, and you can see that it's become completely clogged and doesn't drain. In fact, it just has become a place for stagnant, gooey muck. You can see that you can't even see the concrete on it. It's totally silted over to the point where there's plant material growing in it. Until you get to the very end of it, you see it's still got garbage. I have to come out and help clean out the garbage out here consistently. It piles up in this area, but you know, gosh, there's still just garbage and junk all over the place. After the floods receded, we noticed there were large areas like this. What this is really soft blow sand. It's so soft that it's, as you walk around back here, it's like walking on a squishy sponge. And in some places it's still not dry. You can see this is just like being on the moon. It's very fine dust. I took a post hole digger and dug a 2-foot deep hole just as a test. Not even in a really area that's really piled up, but after going through 2 feet, that's what I pulled out of it, and every bit of it's blow sand. There's not a bit of clay or really any kind of meaningful soil underneath there at all. I could have gone deeper, but you know, we really shouldn't have to even go that deep. That's 2 feet of flood water that's pushed up into our properties. It shouldn't be there. This is a drain pipe that sticks out at the east end of 12 Oaks, near where it meets Horseshoe, and this is a real problem. You see that it's just a constant source of trash and standing water, and it just sits here and just accumulates garbage. And I know the homeowner Liz here is constantly having to clean this up. You see, the water can't drain back to the creek way over there because the topography of this has changed because of the sedimentation. That the water, there's no way it can get there because it can't go uphill. So it just sits here, and I gotta tell you, it smells really bad. This is just nasty. And on the opposite, let's just say banks, you'll see that there's all sorts of fallen trees that really just washed up here when the water subsided, and they're just sitting there just rotting away. Just another blow sand dune that we've got back here. This is a big one. This thing's got to be at least 16 inches high, just in one dune right here. Since I left that last drainage pipe over there, I've kind of followed a wet area that ends right here in kind of a little mini marsh. It's really gooey here, and this is where, because the topography goes up to get to the creek from here, it stops. This is just, and this has probably been a week at least since we've had any kind of precipitation. It wasn't much, but this is kind of the end of the line for the drainage from that last thing. It's just nasty. And of course, the small trees and bushes along here, like many of us who have properties along here, are just caked with this fine material that was slammed into them when this flooded. I doubt many of these will survive. To the very far east end of the Pool Road floodplain there is another area of standing water. This one's pretty deep, and this is another area we're concerned about because this area during the last flood became essentially a dam, and we're concerned that if this happens again, although you know that was a rare occurrence, that this area could dam up. It's fairly narrow back in there, and we're concerned that it could dam up and cause more flooding. Plus, not to mention, there's several pools. I can see them back in there of just stagnant standing water that's only going to become mosquito breeding grounds as the weather gets warmer.